Welcome to Reset with Me, the podcast where we explore the interconnected worlds of weight loss and mental health. I'm your host, Tina Arnold, and today we're diving into a topic that affects many of us, social anxiety. First, I just want to acknowledge the fact that social anxiety sucks, y'all. It really does. Okay? The feeling of dread or nervousness in social situations, meeting new people, speaking in public, just being in a crowded room, it's very overwhelming a lot of the time and makes us want to avoid social interactions altogether, right? I know it does for me. I'll be sitting here and I'll be thinking, okay, I made an appointment to go do something with whoever. And I'll be really, really excited about it when I made the plans. And then the closer that it comes to being time to go, the more anxious I get, the more worried I become. I start to freak out. And I'll start trying to come up with reasons not to go. And I mean, not purposely. Nobody purposely tries to come up with reasons not to go do something that's fun or to be social. It just happens. But here's the thing, y'all. We don't have to let social anxiety control our lives. Okay, there are actually strategies and techniques that we can use to manage our anxiety and feel more comfortable in social settings. Okay. One approach is to challenge our negative thoughts. And that's what anxiety causes, right? So often we find that it's feeding us thoughts like, they're going to judge me. I'm going to feel like Carrie from the movie right now. They're all going to laugh at me. So social anxiety is like Carrie's mom being the voice in the back of your head. If you're a horror movie buff like me, you get the reference. We get worried about embarrassing ourselves or, stumbling over our words or saying something wrong. Hell, we might even worry that we're going to trip and fall walking into a place, There's just anything that you can think of could go wrong. We're thinking of it. Or just even the fact that you're just thinking, I don't have the mental energy to go be social right now. It's like, it's just, for somebody with social anxiety and other things, other problems going on, it can be such a drain to be in a social setting. If you're autistic, if you're an empath, if, you're somebody that just doesn't normally know how to handle social interaction. If you're an introvert, it can feel like it's sucking the life out of you to be in a group, right? Then there are my people that have depression and other things like that, where it's not just draining, but you can be in a room full of people and feel like you're alone, and then that becomes a whole other thing. You have to challenge those thoughts. You have to push them away. Okay, and the only way, it'll never happen magically, ever. It's like I tell people all the time, about weight loss. Motivation to move and motivation to eat right, it'll never just fall in your lap. Your negative thoughts will never go away without you training your brain to push them out. You have to do the footwork. But to be honest with you, for my social anxiety people who are worried about what other people are thinking about them, are gonna think about them, The truth is that most people are way too caught up with themselves to even be thinking about somebody else or be, worried about paying that much attention to us. By challenging the thoughts, the negative thoughts, you can start to replace them with more positive thoughts, ones that can help to make you more at ease about going into social situations. Like, tell yourself they're not going to be paying that much attention to me. They're going to be probably worried about their own social anxiety or worried about the conversation that they're in across the room, or, the people that I'm talking to are more emotionally mature than to be worried about somebody stumbling over their words. Replace your thoughts with affirmations, positive affirmations about yourself and about the situation. I can do this. This room is full of kind, uplifting people. Their thoughts are not negative towards me. Another helpful strategy is gradual exposure. So if you are somebody that's really, really anxious and you really don't like going out into crowds, don't throw yourself into like the biggest event of the year right off. Go into something that has a smaller group. Maybe something that you don't have to be as interactive, but you can sit back and be more observant. You can try that. And don't avoid social situations completely. You got to let yourself get out there to try to build up your social stamina. Do it in small doses, baby steps. This might mean starting with low pressure situations, like just somebody one-on-one, a friend, somebody that you trust, a family member, and then slowly work your way up to go into bigger things like, concerts or church meetings, or I was going to say parties, but my audience, do we still go to parties? I don't know. But it's also, you guys, it's also important to practice self-compassion, okay? Having social anxiety, a lot of the time, it can make us feel like we're weak, or like we're inadequate in some way, we're broken. But the truth is, it's really common for people to have social anxiety, especially in today's world with everything that's going on, all the judgment in the air, all of the tension, and all of the things that, you're constantly having to think of in the back of your heads, that you don't add anything bad to a situation. It's a lot. And that can cause so much anxiety that, a lot of people have it. A lot of people, and I've dealt with a lot of people. I've spoken to a lot of people personally that have social anxiety, and I would have never realized that they do, but they do. And, they are experiencing the same things that I'm experiencing in their mind, but they're not showing it. I always feel really awkward. Like everybody can look at me and tell that I'm anxious. I have social anxiety. Like my face, my resting what face, a lot of the time puts people off and makes them think that I'm either stuck up or bored or just disinterested. But I'm not. I don't realize I'm doing it until somebody mentions it to me, or I catch myself in a mirror or a reflection, and So that's something that I'm anxious about, especially meeting new people. I never know what to say. I'm really, really bad with small talk. And so, because I'm not a talker. I'm really not. I can sit for an entire 24-hour span of time and not say a word unless somebody speaks to me. So for me to come up with conversation on the fly is really, really difficult. And so meeting new people, or being like in a grocery store and meeting somebody in passing because they know me from the show or something, I want to meet with people that enjoyed the show and, want to talk to me about the weight loss and how it's going and what I'm doing and my business. And, I want to have those conversations. But then it happens and I'm like, nice to meet you. And then when the conversation is done, when that is over and they walk away, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, they must think I'm just nuts. And then I think of 50 things I could say to them every single time without fail. So I get it. This is, something that a lot of us go through. But we need to practice kindness and understanding towards ourselves. If you have something like that happen, instead of tearing yourself down and saying, I'm nuts, or God, that was so stupid, or, negative things to further beat yourself down, you've got to give yourself grace and tell yourself, next time I'll do better. I will try again and I will keep trying again. And, we can start to break free from the grip that social anxiety has on us if we just start to practice more self-compassion. Seeking support is another step that you can take. You can talk to friends about your social anxiety or family members. You can talk to a therapist and let them know that you're dealing with this. But having somebody that can listen and offer support and maybe some advice or just a different perspective. Somebody, a therapist can give you ideas on how to work through it and things that you could use, like tools to get through it. But it's just important to know, maybe talk with people that have it, other people that have social anxiety and struggle like this. It's important to know that you're not alone. It really is, because we already feel so alone if we have social anxiety or depression or anything like that. So it's really important that you reach out to people and let them know so you don't get stuck in your house, because that sucks. I know. Because I'm going to tell you, I have been this close to really believing sometimes that I'm agoraphobic. And I know that I'm not. And I know that, being agoraphobic is not a joke. It's not something to make light of. That is a horrible, horrible thing to deal with daily. But sometimes, y'all, it really takes everything I've got to push myself out of the front door just to go to the grocery store. For real. And, some days it's worse. Some days I'm fine. And I've been called codependent because I do better in social situations if I have what I call an angel there with me. And that would be somebody like Johnny or one of my kids or Megan. Or my mom when I was growing up. I depended on her for this a lot. Or Ashley, just somebody that is a constant in my life, that I trust, that I love, that I know loves me and will have my best interest at heart, somewhere that, or someone that I feel safe with. Taking them into a social situation makes it less difficult for me, makes it less scary. My anxiety level won't go as high because I have that safety there, that safety net, which is what they are to me. Finally, though, let's not forget the power of mindfulness and relaxation techniques, which is something that we also use for weight loss. But this is something that can be used for anything. Practicing like deep breathing, meditations, progressive muscle relaxation, all of that helps to calm our nervous system and reduce our physical symptoms of anxiety. It makes social situations feel less daunting. You know, you got to work through all of this. You can't just sit in it and expect it to go away or hope that it'll go away, or just say, well, I'm just going to live with it, because you really don't want to trap yourself in that. You don't have to stay in it, you know, and you don't have to go out and be super, super social either. You know, if you're introverted and you just feel better in smaller social situations, that's fine. But I don't want anybody wanting that social interaction and stuck at home because they're scared, or because they're too nervous, or because they're telling themselves bad things about themselves, or convincing themselves that they'll do something stupid. You know, for the longest time growing up, y'all, it was so bad for me. And, you know, I never went to the doctor I did when I was little, but then from like 10 and up, I never went to the doctor, much less a therapist or anybody that could diagnose me with anything. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a child. I didn't even find out about that until I was an adult. But I had social anxiety and I didn't know what it was. I did not know. It was so bad, I wouldn't order my food when we would go out. I wouldn't order pizza over the phone. I wouldn't pick up the phone if it was a stranger calling. I wouldn't start conversations, which I still struggle with. Still struggle with starting a conversation with somebody outside of my circle of safety. But like, I wouldn't go into a grocery store alone. I wouldn't go into a bookstore alone. I really, really struggled. My mom would ask me to like go, when I was a teenager, she'd be like, will you run into the store and grab this for me? And I'd be like, no. So I would have to have somebody with me. And I was terrified that I would be like that for the rest of my life. Because where do you go from there? What do you do? You know, how are you going to live on your own and function on your own as an adult if you are that dependent on somebody being there? So it scared me. Fortunately, I outgrew that level of severity. And I really think that Megan helped me with that. And really a lot of it, Johnny got me through. And I guess just maturing. As I got older and I started to mature a little bit and care less about what other people thought, a little bit of the anxiety started to fall away. But it is still here. I still worry. Sitting in front of the camera doing interviews for the show, you know, I was always terrified of, you're in a room full of people, and I was always terrified about stumbling over my words, saying the wrong thing, using the wrong word, especially because I'm a word girl. I write. And if something happens and my brain goes foggy, I have a brain fart moment, and I use the wrong word, to me, that's detrimental. That's the end of the world. You know, it's like catastrophic. The whole room is laughing at me. They're all thinking that I'm a moron. In my mind, that's what I thought. None of those people probably thought that. I doubt any of them were actually even listening, except for the producer and the sound guy. So, in my mind, I made it so much worse than it really was. So I do still do that. But I talk myself down a lot because I want to be out there and around people. I want to build friendships with people. I want to meet new people. You know, I want to network with people. And I don't want my social anxiety to be crippling in those scenarios. So I have to talk myself down a lot, and I have to talk myself up a lot, and convince myself that what I'm thinking up here, 99.9% chance it's not really going to happen out there. And if it does, so what? What is it going to do? Okay? What is going to happen if I use the wrong word? Nobody's going to die. Nobody's going to kill me. You know, they're not going to kick me out of the club. It's just going to be a thing. You know, it's just, you know, move on. Don't worry about it. As we wrap up today, I just want to leave you with a reminder, okay? Social anxiety may suck, and it does, but it does not have to define you. It does not have to define us, okay? If you implement any of the strategies that I told you about and seek support when you need it, you can learn to navigate social situations with a better confidence and ease. And I know that the majority of us want that. So, if you have social anxiety, as a lot of people have been talking to me about lately, they do. I've come across it more recently, than I have in all my life. And maybe it's because I'm now doing the reset group, and I'm talking to people, and I'm opening myself up more to other people's stories. I'm learning more about the fact that there are more people out there like me than I realized or that I ever knew. And if you are like me and you suffer with social anxiety, I just want you to know and be aware that you do not have to sit in it. Okay, a lot of us will just embrace it because it's easier to just sit in what you know. Don't let it hold you back. Don't let it hold you back from going to the grocery store. Don't let it hold you back from going to the movies, to restaurants, to fitness groups. You know, if that's what you're working on right now is your fitness level, to weight loss groups. Don't let it hold you back, because you will be able to get so much more done, be able to get so much further with your goals and in your life if you take a chance and you teach yourself how to talk to yourself better. If you're more accepting of yourself, others are going to be more accepting of you. If you can do that, your life, the quality of life that you have, will be so much better. Well, that's all I have for today. I know it's a little short compared to some of my other podcasts. I want to thank you for tuning in to Reset with me. And remember, you're stronger than you think, and you're capable of overcoming. See how I stumbled? I'm going to leave it in here so you can see. And you're capable of overcoming social anxiety. Until next time, stay brave, stay resilient, and keep resetting with me. And if you like the podcast, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a good day.